Welcome this morning to the Visual Road and Bridge Integrated Management System. This morning we're going to take a look at the Other Assets module. The Other Assets module works in conjunction with the total system, and you have assets, fixed assets in the Roads module, your equipment in the Equipment module, bridges, culverts, and signs in their individual modules. And the Other Assets module essentially covers any other asset that isn't covered in one of these other modules. It works in a similar manner to all of the modules. They all work very similarly. So what we're going to do, let's start the Road and Bridge program. And we log in. And the quickest menu is the easiest way to navigate around in the system, but you can use any of the other menus, the quick menu, main menu, functional, dashboard, or otherwise. You highlight the Other Assets module, press the Enter key, and this opens this module. And you can use this module to maintain any asset that you don't maintain in any other asset. It can be buildings, retaining walls, water impoundments, drainage systems, dike systems, anything that you want to manage in here that doesn't fit in the other asset modules. So let's take a look at this building. We'll double click on it. And it can have any asset ID number. These asset IDs normally will be assigned out of the county clerk's office or your auditor's office for maintaining all the assets. The way you categorize the asset determines how you want to subset this data within the Other Assets table. You could have one category would be building, another might be water impoundments, or however you want to subset the records by. Short description. And a lot of the fields may not pertain to the asset that you're entering at this time, but if you were entering something other, it might pertain to that. But anyway, this particular asset is a shop building for our North Ops Maintenance Center, and it's on Tri-City Road, and we have the latitude and longitude for it here. As we do work on this particular shop building to maintain it, we accumulate the individuals who are working on it and what tasks they're accomplishing in the maintenance history table. These come in from the cost accounting entry that you do to record what work was done. We won't say this. Basically, from this point on, we can do a Google to look it up in Google, so we can see where physically it's located, and it's at the green arrow point. If you want to zoom in, you can use your mouse wheel, or you can click over here on this little plus thing that will let it zoom in too. If the road is well, it's not highlighted on here, so we probably would have to zoom back out to do a road view up at this point. We can see the actual video of the road, and this is where it turns off. And this is a turnoff down to Tri-City Road. In fact, you can see the shop building right here in this area, in this general area. So we'll drop out of the video viewer and back to the GIS. That basically it operates like all the other modules, but it just subsets that data down. Let's close this record and close this lookup, and we'll take the All Assets module, which really brings all of your assets together under one module look. And this particular, if you enter a TRI for Tri-City, it'll pull up that record and double click to open it. And you see this is basically the description of the road that it's on. It's about 0.09 miles in total length. You describe the road that it's on and the culverts. Well, let's take a look at this culvert that's located on this road. We can click on here, and that then locates the latitude and longitude, so we can do a Google lookup on the culvert. Or you could have opened a record and you'd be looking at the culvert and its description. In this particular look, let's do a zoom in here a little bit and zoom in a little more. And when you have the satellite view, a lot of times you can determine where a culvert actually is by looking at the surrounding terrain. It may not show up on the terrain view. It looks pretty flat there, but in a satellite view, as you zoom in, let's get back to where we are here, you can see that there's a drainage area running down across this field, and it comes in across here. So there would have to be some sort of a culvert or some small bridge. In this case, it's a culvert at this location. So a lot of times you can do a satellite view and determine where culverts and other assets may be located. And like we looked earlier, we can actually see the shop buildings of the satellite view. We go to the other assets, and this is the shop building we're looking at, so it basically lets you coordinate it back in that direction. We have help available on all the screens. Pull up help, and it explains what's going on the window. You also can look the next page, which may be related to like the cost accounting record, or a previous page, which is the changing of road street record. So that basically is a quick look at the other assets module. Another thing we're working on now, it'll be available for the December version download. We've speeded up the GIS look. Let's close this table. And the GIS look, before, when you use Google, you'd have to click and update Google and then do a conversion. We built it all into one module. And let's take a look here at the culverts. It goes through everything with just one click. And it brings up Google. And we'll close this as just our splash screen that comes up, and then close it, and it'll drill on down to the data that we then sent out to it. It's in a KML, which is a Google format. And when we're looking at it, let's take a look at a particular culvert. Now, it's over here under GPIS devices and then the waypoints. Let's take a look here at this culvert C002C3 by double-clicking on it. And it will take us to that culvert. And so using Google Earth, you can look at all of your assets at one time. This is that same culvert we're looking at through looking up in the culvert module, but this summarizes all your culverts for one look. If we do a zoom back, you can see these are all the culverts. Also, the signs in the bridges module works in the same manner. And basically, we just cleaned it up to where it's a one-click lookup in the Google Earth. So that pretty much covers all of the other assets module. If you have any questions, give us a call or email. And this particular enhancement to the Google Earth lookup will be